What if I were a man in a suit, shaking hands while hiding the truth? Smile on my face and calm the deal, but nothing I say is ever real. What if I sold food on the square, leaving hands to mouth but nothing to spare? Fingers are cold, hunger within, still hoping tomorrow will let me live. What if I was someone else, feeling something I never felt, wearing someone else's life as a mask, playing roles that are not mine, not caring if it's wrong or right, who I would become, oh do not ask. But this daydream is ending here. Dreams may shine, but the truth is clear. Good to dive into a dreaming swirl, but we need to face the world.
Hey everyone, I'm Oliver Kovács, a Hungarian composer. In this video I'll show you the process of creating a fascinating and professional sounding song using only sample libraries and VSTs. I'll cover every detail, so stay tuned. Guys, I'm Hungarian, so English is not my native language. You can imagine I have serious issues with lyrics. Every time I try to create lyrics, I come up with an idea. In this case, my idea was literally, what if I were someone else? I imagined what it would be like if I were a corrupt politician or a guy who was struggling to make money for a living. So it's like a role play. The first version was created by ChatGPT, but don't accept the first version from an AI. In general, AI-generated lyrics often contain glitches and weird phrasing like this. I replaced about 40% of the lyrics with my ideas, and this became what you just heard. The tempo is 140 BPM, the time signature is 4/4, and the key is A minor, so it's a really simple song. I incorporated a drum kit, a bass guitar, a slightly distorted electric guitar, an acoustic guitar, and an electric piano. The vocal is very interesting because it's not a real human voice. It was created with Synthesizer V, which is a vocal synthesizer. It's completely suitable for demos.
What if I were a man in a suit?
I didn't want to hire a real singer for a demo song to create a free YouTube video. But of course, for a production version of the song, I would work with a real singer instead of typing the entire lyrics into a VST. Let's take a look at the chord progression. I used a couple of dominant 7th chords on the 4th and the 5th degrees of the scale. They sound really bluesy and create a moody atmosphere. I'd like to let you know that the MIDI files and project files for these pieces are available on my Patreon page for supporters, just like all the MIDI and project files for my YouTube videos. If you find my content helpful and interesting, please consider supporting the channel. Thank you! Those were the two verses, but what about the chorus? The chord progression here is the following. Almost all the chords are major. This creates a liberating atmosphere, but the minor 7th and minor chords add a bit of melancholic mood. If you want to achieve a specific mood or atmosphere, you should carefully choose your chords. At this point, I have to mention that you can find a complete course for beginner composers with the major concepts of music creation, including scales, modes, key signatures, time signatures, and the diatonic chord system. If you are not familiar with these concepts, check out that series. It's not a rocket science to create a chord progression. You usually have 7 diatonic chords because most scales have 7 degrees. Try to listen to the chords built on the scale degrees. Every harmony has its own unique characteristics and mood. Minor chords are of course melancholic, major chords sound happy and uplifting. Diminished chords create tension, while augmented chords are weird and unusual. Sus chords convey anticipation. 7th chords are more complex and convey more complicated emotions. If you want to create more interesting chord progressions, study the concept of borrowed chords. Of course, I have video lesson on borrowed chords on this channel. I'll show you the chord progression for the guitar solo and the bridge. The first and most important rule is that your melody should follow the chord progression, and it's best to choose your notes from the underlying chord. Of course, it's perfectly fine if the melody occasionally steps outside the chord tones. As for the rhythm of the melody, in my opinion, it's a good strategy to follow the natural rhythm of the words because it sounds more fluid and expressive. In my song, the lyrics don't align with the rhythm of the accompaniment in several places, and it sounds great and bluesy.
What if I were a man in a suit? What if I were a man in a suit?
As for the bass, try to use the root note of the chord most often, and then move to the 5th and rarely the 3rd. The 3rd in the bass has the least stable sound, while the root note is the most stable. It's a good strategy to harmonize the bass and the kick drum. They should create a stable, well-established rhythm. If the bass and the kick drum don't harmonize, the song sounds choppy and unprofessional. Keep in mind, this doesn't mean that the bass should play the exact rhythm as the kick.